What's going on, guys? So in front of you, you were looking at the all-new 2022 GMC Yukon Denali XL in four-wheel drive. This is an absolute beauty. You know, there's not a heck of a lot out there in terms of SUVs that can rival the overall command presence you get from a GMC Yukon or a Cadillac Escalade. And quite frankly, whenever you see one of these things on the road, they just demand so much attention. That really, really bold GMC grille up front, the really bold architecture to the headlights, just everything about these vehicles stands out and says executive. It stands out and says business owner, or, you know, the guy who owns the contracting company. These are just such beautiful vehicles. And I'm going to have this for a week to review and evaluate so you guys can get my feedback on it. All right, so we're going to start by taking a look at the outside of this SUV and then moving to the inside. So the outside of this SUV, again, is very bold. Before we dive into that, let's talk about the specs on this. So this specific one is equipped with a 6.2-liter Ecotec V8 engine. This is not the Duramax. It produces 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, if you compare this to the 3-liter Duramax option that produces 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, the torque is the same, though the Duramax produces it at 1,500 RPMs, and the gas engine, the 6.2, produces the same 460 pound-feet of torque at 4,100 RPMs. Horsepower-wise, it's 420 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs versus 277 horsepower in the diesel at 3,750 RPMs. Now, the overall length of this Denali is 225 inches long and just over 76.5 inches tall. So this is a big boy. This is certainly not something that takes up a small amount of space in a garage. This is definitely what you would want to put in an oversized garage because, again, whenever you see these Yukons and Suburbans and any of these really long extended capacity SUVs, they certainly have a commanding presence on the road and in your driveway and in your garage. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Up front, you can see that it has 22-inch wheels wrapped with Bridgestone tires. And the tires are 275/50R22s. You have power deploying running boards down here on the bottom as well. Not a surprise on these upscale luxury vehicles. Again, a very, very nice looking wheel on this truck. Coming around back, it has front and rear parking sensors. On the back, you can see it has really attractive exhaust. Behind here is going to be your 2-inch receiver. Looks like somebody rubbed it on something. Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, you're going to have cameras all the way around this. You're going to have 360-degree cameras. Pretty much on any of your high-end luxury vehicles, that's becoming a pretty standard feature. All LED lights. And I like the fact that they put the entry-exit lock button on all the doors. That's something you see on higher-end SUVs, but for some reason you don't see that much on pickups. General Motors, I think, is the only manufacturer that puts them on all 4 doors on even their pickup trucks with the properly equipped package. Coming around to the front, this is a 4-wheel drive SUV. I don't see any type of tow hooks up front. I absolutely love the grille. I mean, I just have always loved the look of a Denali grille, just even when I was a kid. I mean, you would see GMC Denali pickup trucks and SUVs, and instantly they were recognizable because of that really, really amazing, beautiful front end on them. And you know, honestly, you get the same feeling when you see them these days. They're just absolutely gorgeous. How do you feel? You know, when did you start noticing the Denali, and are you a fan of it? Because regardless of what truck brand I liked back in the day, you know, whenever you saw Denali, everyone was a fan of it. Again, parking sensors all around the front. Kind of a humdrum badge on the side here. I'm expecting a little bit more. I don't know what else I'm expecting. Maybe for it to say like 6.2 liter or something right here, but it's kind of a bland looking, to be honest. But, you know, it's not bad. The rest of the vehicle looks absolutely amazing, and maybe that's part of the design feature here, is that they're going for a bit more of a subtle look, because if you look at the overall lines, it's very edgy, very modern, very chiseled, which is really nice. And something interesting about the suspension on this, which is something they've been doing for a while, is what they call their magnetic ride control, where it actually actively analyzes the driving surface that you're on and makes adjustments to it while you're driving. So it really adjusts the suspension while you're driving to give you a really comfortable ride. This also utilizes air suspension, so this has the Air Ride adaptive suspension system with the trailering package, which means it's going to adapt and level itself out whenever you hook up a trailer to the back and you add weight to it. So that's really nice. It just makes it one step easier whenever you are hooking up a trailer and about to take off to be able to level it all out from inside of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and open up the back. Okay, so of course it's got a power lift gate. The button's way up here on the top. You know, I do kind of wish they would put the button closer to the side here. It's just for folks like my wife who are a little shorter and it's a little easier for them to deal with. But as we move closer to the back here, you can definitely see the perks of having a super long SUV like this. The Yukon XLs certainly give you a lot of room. I mean, just a lot of room in the back. You have a little storage area under here as well. And even more storage up here. Very nice. Got some tie-down hooks back here. Pretty common to put a net or something across the back to keep things from tumbling out. So you have your controls right here to also raise and lower the seats. If I want to lower it, I just hold the button down. First thing it will do is drop the headrest and then drop the seat. Very fast. And then these will probably drop the front seats down. So you have this entirely open flat area that you could probably load plywood in here if you really wanted to. That is really cool. Now those seats, your second row, you probably have to manually raise, but the third row, I can hold these buttons and it will cause the seat to raise back up. That has to be the fastest I've ever seen a SUV raise and lower seats. That's incredibly fast. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close the back here. And another feature you have on this SUV is the ability to actually pop the rear glass open as well. Again, not entirely uncommon, but it is worth noting if you ever feel you might need to open up the back like this. Maybe if you're in a parade or something and you want the kids to be able to look out the back window easier. Coming around, you can see how they've kind of integrated this black pillar right here into the windows, which is really nice. You can see the GMC lettering here on the light as well. Absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and pop the hood so you can see what the engine's all about. Again, this does have the 6.2 liter Ecotec V8 gas engine. This is a very powerful gas engine for an SUV this size. Very nice. Okay, so you have a power connection right there as well, possibly meant for maybe jump starting the vehicle if you ever need to. Okay, so let's hop inside. As we make our way inside, let's take a look at the payload numbers on this. I know it's an SUV, not a pickup, but it's worth noting. Check this out, 1,403 pounds worth of cargo capacity. That's greater than most luxury half-ton trucks. It's pretty amazing, honestly, to have 1,403 pounds in an SUV. So it just kind of speaks to the fact that these SUVs are designed to do a little bit more than you might think. If we look at the towing numbers here, we can actually see that the gross vehicle weight rating is 7,700 pounds, has a gross combined weight rating, which means the truck and whatever you're towing, of 14,500 pounds. And you have a rear gross axle weight rating of 4,300 pounds, curb weight or dry weight of the vehicle 6,297 pounds, and the maximum payload of 1,403 pounds. Maximum conventional towing capacity 7,900 pounds, with a maximum tongue weight of 790 pounds or 10% of the trailer weight. Now this is where you have to pay close attention if you plan on towing with something like this, because a 7,900 pound travel trailer is likely going to transfer a lot more than 790 pounds to the back of this. So it's going to be closer to probably around 1,000 pounds that actually gets transferred to the back of this SUV. And that's only going to leave you about 403 pounds worth of cargo capacity for everything that's going to be in the vehicle, the hitch itself, and any passengers or cargo you bring with you. Okay, so stepping on the automatic fold-out steps. Okay, so now that we're inside, you can see that the entire display up front is actually an LCD screen. So you have this huge display, and this isn't, again, entirely new, but it is really nice to see, and it's very vibrant. It gives you a lot of information, and it's very customizable to other information you might want to look at on the screen. And then, of course, as we pan around to some of the buttons and controls, you see you have your heads-up display settings right here. You can actually change the info that's displayed on it, and you can probably see the speed right there, the direction right there. Might be a little hard to see. And then the actual current posted speed limit, which of course we're not moving right now, so you're not going to get that. Over here you have your parking sensors, lane departure, traction control. You're going to have your downhill assist. You have your 360-degree camera button right here, which is going to enable you to see all these really cool different angles of the vehicle. They do such a great job with this. This is so advanced, and I absolutely love the different angles that they've thought of here that just give you so much information related to what you're actively doing. And these can help in a ton of different scenarios, especially if you're off-roading, if you're towing a trailer, if you're trying to back up. Just very, very cool, some of the special features that you get with this truck. And I wish I had the camera views on mine. I mean, I have the cameras, I just don't have the views, and I certainly don't have that resolution. The resolution on my cameras are pretty horrible, to be honest. So right here you have your parking brake. You can turn on your 110 outlet. You have all your four-wheel drive controls right here, as well as your dimming controls for your lights, headlight controls, trailer brake controllers right here. I don't think that's in the best possible spot. It's not a horrible spot, but I do wish that they would have found a place over here for the trailer brake controller. I just think it's more natural to how people drive. They have their hand on the steering wheel and they're controlling the brakes from down here. Especially if you're towing a trailer and you get into a sway situation where you need to be able to hit the brakes on your trailer to be able to prevent sway from occurring. I absolutely think the interior of this is just drop dead gorgeous, especially with that very kind of traditional black that you see on Denali vehicles. Just a beautiful, beautiful interior. Huge screen up front as well. This is your shifting right here. So some manufacturers use a rotary knob, some manufacturers use a weird little shifting button up here. This is all buttons. To put it in park, you press the park button. To put it in reverse, you pull back on the reverse button. Neutral, you press. Drive, you pull back, and then you can adjust your gearing through plus or minus right here if you're in a low range gear. Air conditioning vents are nice and sleek, very wide across the dash. Nice real wood. Absolutely amazing fit and finish in here. And I can honestly tell you now that, you know, General Motors is at that level to where you're like, man, they definitely are at the very top end of interiors. They look absolutely amazing, what they've done and how they truly give you an interior that rivals any high-end luxury vehicle. And then up here you have your rear view mirror, but I can also turn the camera feature on. So this is the camera on the lift gate, and I can use it as a digital mirror as well, which is really cool. Up here are all your controls for your enormous panoramic sunroof. I can open the sunroof, close the sunroof, of course. I have the ability to adjust how high I open the back lift gate as well. So that's really cool. If I put it 3/4, it's only going to open 3/4 of the way. That is awesome. Okay, looking down here, center console, cup holders. Got a nice little slide out tray, wireless charging for your phone, USB, USB-C, and right here looks like a 12-volt outlet. What I don't see up here yet is a 110. So there could be a 110 in here, but I just haven't seen it yet. Okay, so even looking in the center console, I don't see a 110 outlet up front unless I'm just missing it, and there is one up here. Sometimes it's placed in a kind of awkward position. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a 110 outlet right here in the middle. That's kind of cool. Before we move to the back seat, here are all of your controls on the door. You can fold your mirrors in and fold them out as well, which is nice. Memory seating. And then taking a look in the back, power door locks. So that's interesting. You typically don't see power door lock controls on the back. You usually see them on the front. But I'm gonna have to pay more attention to SUVs I'm in to see if you actually get these on the back. But that is interesting. You have your Bose sound system. This is really cool. So this has captain's chairs in the back. It's not a bench. I kind of prefer a bench. My wife kind of prefers a bench, but you can probably get a bench, but this specific one has captain's chairs, and that one's folded down currently. But you can adjust how far forward or back this seat is, which is really nice. And this is how you would also lay this seat flat if you want to put it in a cargo position. And as you probably saw, the seat also dropped down slightly, so it's level with these back seats whenever they're down. So that is really nice. And then you can lift up here if you want to gain easier access into the back. So if you don't want to go through the center here, you can always just lift this up and just go straight into the back seat, which is a third row seat with a lot of width to it. You can see the headrests are still folded down. You have some cup holders right here. You have a USB jack as well. And then you have some vents up top, nice LED lighting in here. Whenever you fold the seat back up, it's in its furthest up position, so I can lift that handle and slide it back. I'm gonna go ahead and get in. This is equipped with the rear seat entertainment. These are some huge screens. They look like they're like 12-inch screens. They're just very, very large. Interesting how they attach to the back here. They do look nice. They tilt down pretty far too, so they have some good movement to them. You have your AC controls right here for the back, USB-C, and these look like HDMI connections. So you have 2 HDMI connections back here. I guess if you have your own media player, you want to plug it in so you can watch something maybe off of your phone on the headrest TVs, which is really nice. Good amount of legroom back here, but you know what's interesting? The second row in most of these newer trucks actually gives you more knee room, but that's because they can do that because you don't have a third row to worry about. Here, they want everyone to be comfortable, so they give you a third row and they want you to have enough leg space here. So let's go ahead and hop into the third row. We're gonna go through the center here. I'll pull this seat up, and this one is gonna be in its all the way up position. And this one right here is in its all the way back position. You can kind of see the difference right there. Plenty of legroom back here if it's all the way up. Now if I move to this side, well, still have a good amount of legroom, probably a good 2 inches in front of my knees. I definitely wouldn't want to be back here on a really long trip, but they do give you some space back here, which is nice. It's not as if it's just crammed back here as a second afterthought. Now what's nice here is that the floor is flat. So in the past, the back of the GMCs and the Chevys used to bump up a little bit. So you were kind of on a platform. It felt like your knees were up a little higher. And they fixed that problem here. Everything's nice and flat. Really nice. But overall, this is just absolutely gorgeous inside. Just a beautiful interior. And they've executed on it so well. And something else I noticed from the back that I couldn't see from where I was sitting is you got your 110 outlet here. And the button up front on the left controls turning that on or off. So you do have a 110 outlet here in the back. You have your cup holders here. You have a cup holder in each door. You're not going to have a cup holder here in the center because you don't have a center console here. But again, these are captain's chairs, so you can put the arms down, be in a nice relaxing position here. Overall, absolutely gorgeous. What do you guys think? I'm gonna have this vehicle for a while, so I give you driving impressions and all of that good stuff in another video, but I definitely wanted to do a full overview on the specs, the outside, the inside, and the towing information in this video, so you guys have a pretty good idea of what I'm gonna be reviewing for the next couple of days. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.